So like everybody wants to discuss like the storyline, or not even the storyline. I'm saying storyline because that's exactly what it is. What's going on with Macklin, Royal, Shaheem, and myself. When I speak on these things, unless it's for the show itself, like that I'm putting out for the Monster Factory or for the MFPW, like I'm not going to on my personal account be like I did it because blah blah blah. It's just silly. I don't believe that today in 2021 we should be like portraying ourselves as anything but actors playing a character because it's just not real. And they can say like, oh, well then you're killing the business now, man. Like right now, the people that are keep on doing what they're doing because like some vet told them that's what they're supposed to do and kayfabe lives forever. That's costing us business. The biggest boom period is like when they actually admitted that like wrestling wasn't real and moved forward with that. But so like I just don't think today we should be costing ourselves money because I think a lot more people would tune in if they knew like we were actors playing a part, and especially like when you can discuss what you're doing. Because I thought like one of the coolest things about like Broken Skull sessions and all these different podcasts, especially like the ones that Conrad and all them do, is them talking about storylines and how they came up with and all this stuff. But we had to wait like 10, 15, 20, 30 years to hear these stories. Why couldn't we hear like the stories like a little bit after or during even? Because like I see people that are actors on TV being like, hey, let's do a watch along for my show and stuff like that, and they'll comment on it. They don't have to do it in character. They're not ruining the ending because they're still alive. And they're supposed to die in the show or whatever. No, it's just stupid. It's wrestlers being marks for themselves to make themselves seem more important than they are. And it's also the higher ups who don't want the people to be, or wrestlers to be considered actors, because that right away, then we got Screen Actors Guild, we got this, we got that. So they kind of don't want us to be actors. They want us to be superstars, but I just think it's silly and I won't do it. If my guys want to do it on social media and look like jackasses, they can, but I'm not. I'm here to tell you like about the cool stuff and experience all the awesomeness that is pro wrestling, because it is the writing, it's the development of the storylines and all that stuff. And why we did what we did and the way we came up with characters and all that stuff. I think that's the intriguing part. The intriguing part is not like protecting the business. Protecting the business is just, it's so ridiculous. Because like it's supposed to be like protecting the business from like letting people in who are bad, not about letting people know about wrestling. Because I think the coolest thing about actors and actresses and all that stuff is experiencing, watching it all, and going, man, that's a great art form. Like, holy, I didn't even know that guy was British. He sounded like somebody from America. I can't believe that. Like that's acting. You don't see actors showing up in character at movie press conferences or going on different talk shows dressed up as their characters and cutting promos on the guys they're going against in the movie. It's silly, but everyday wrestlers do it because they're silly. So I just think it's costing us money, costing us business, because how are we ever going to have any truly bad guys in wrestling right now? Unless we just say these are characters playing a part. Max Caster rapped about some screwed up shit. I wouldn't put it on my show. Why wouldn't I put it on my show? Because it would follow me. But at the same time, if I was shooting a movie or something like that, I'd have a character do that, and then they would get their ass beat, and nobody would say a word about it. They wouldn't say, oh, we can't do that because X, Y, and Z. No, they just wouldn't. It's a missed opportunity. It's missed opportunities to have great heels in pro wrestling again. And I don't want to hear the stuff about MJF because people are still winking and nodding with him, so it's not really real. So like that's just an anomaly. It's not par for the course. So that's why like when I do the thing with turning on turning on Royal and Shaheem, I refuse to like discuss it other than storyline wise. And storyline wise, it's going to be pretty intriguing to see all the chapters it take, because the reason we took the belt off of him is because he was going to go to Atlanta for a little bit, and go down there and train. So there was no plans to put it on Macklin. And then when I did, Macklin's like, all right, well, sent me different ideas. And then the one he sent me was Austin and Rock from Mania 17. So we kind of got the ball rolling from that. So you'll kind of see some influence in it and what I did from that. And then, you know, we've changed it and tweaked it along the way as we were going on. And what part Golden Era plays in it will unfold to what extent they were involved, or if they were involved at all, or if they're actually my patsies, or if they're actually the brains behind some certain things. Like, that's where you don't know where the storyline's going. The payoff, in my mind, could be around Turkey Slam, but at the same time, I'm not going to have anything in concrete, because if it's still picking up steam and we don't need to end it, we keep it going. But if we do, we end it then. But again, also, this is wrestling, so cards subject to change. Things might change, opportunities might change, circumstances might change. So we don't know. I'm not going to say anything in concrete, but that's what's great about pro wrestling, is everything changes and the storylines interwoven and stuff like that. Like, I could show you the text messages between me and Macklin going back and forth about ideas, and then sitting here for a couple hours going over the finish. And my favorite part about the finish was Iron Kilt almost ruining it. He's our gimmick guy who goes and gets the shirts and the jackets and stuff. And he was doing the right thing in his mind, but this is why I always tell people to pay attention while you're at a show. Because this is the chance where at a show you see everybody going over matches and they're trying to tell the cameraman not to miss this angle, and telling the back when they're doing the cuts to make sure when you're on the switcher that this angle is covered. And I make sure I'm very clear about that. Cue the referee in, and the referee is right here behind the camera, and I'm talking to him. And so, like, all that stuff. So when I went out there, I had made sure, if you watch it, I had 2 chairs come out. Goldie was holding one, and Sean was holding one. And I told Goldie to leave his chair in the ring, and I'd make sure it gets to the corner. But this way, during the match, if it gets knocked over, I told Sean to drop his on the way out when he's confronted, so it'll be more towards the ring, and I can always grab onto that one. Problem is, as soon as I got out there and I started like getting set that I was going to be out there, I'm on the microphone explaining I'm going to be out there for the rest of the match. Iron Kilt goes and's like, and announces it too. Thank God he announced it, so I heard him, because then I got to turn around and stop him. But he's just like, I'm going to get this chair out of here, and goes to grab it and pull it out so he can get it out of the way. And I smacked the everlasting damn out of his arm like he was a child. And then I apologized profusely afterwards, because I felt terrible, but it was going to be like the cost of the match. That's like when you're working live, there is no cuts, there is no do it again. I mean, you can theoretically, but it's not going to go so well. So that was fun. I also thought it was fun before. What turns out, sometimes there's a blessing. So what happened was Brett has a tweaked knee and couldn't wrestle. So we used that for the storyline wise. He didn't let me know until earlier. He goes, I think Sean's going to have to do double duty. So I'm like, all right, cool. Here's what we'll do. We'll have Sean in his triple threat for the middleweight medallion. And I was like, and then when he comes out to defend the belts, we'll have commentary put over that Sean is not here. He's at a hospital or a medical facility, and he has a bad knee, and that's why he's not here. So once Golden Era does come out, and I clear them out and I say ban them from the building, they're only thinking they're dealing with Sean and Goldie. So then at the very end, when Brett comes out, that hasn't been on the show the whole time, everyone's like, oh no. But then it worked perfectly, because then that's when I got there, I grabbed the chair. Then as I'm turning around, I spun it the proper way so I don't kill Shaheem too much. Tagged him, boom, gave a little kick, apologized to him. Also, then I gave Royal the ball shot, and I apologized to him because I swore I really hurt him. But he was just down there. He's like, nah, you're good. So that was fun. And then, Macklin came in, laid the chair shots in, made the pin, bent over. You see me tapping him on the head, thanking everybody, even though it looks like I'm talking crap and stuff like that. But we all thanked each other, and that's like the cool thing about wrestling. Then we go to the back, clear the building out, and we say what works, what missed, what didn't. And like that's like the art of pro wrestling. And these are all cool stories that people can appreciate right now as opposed to 30 years down the road, 20 years down the road, or 10 years down the road. I just think like this stuff should be happening immediately after shows and matches so then you appreciate things more. Because again, this is an art. And I'm here to like show the art of wrestling so everybody can understand that it's not what you think it is. And the more and more we get past this, we can actually have better characters in wrestling. Like right now, like you could not have an Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov. You cannot have that on main TV right now, doing what they used to do and saying what they used to say. They wouldn't play out. There's just so many different characters you could not do. You couldn't even do a Big Boss Man right now. You can't have a cop beating people. Could you imagine what that would happen right now? My God, stuff like that. So like, that's why I think we need to get away from this is really me. I think we should need to talk about it more as we're actors and stuff like that. And that's why like, I think storylines in wrestling could go so much farther, but we're like costing ourselves money because, and it's not because of the PC culture and all that stuff. It's because more people are actually smarter now, so they don't like screwed up stuff. But if it's in a movie and stuff, people are like, you know what? That character got it in the end, good stuff. Now, if you show me a movie where the character does some really jacked up stuff as in the hero of the movie, well, then we have another issue. But this is one of the things I like about pro wrestling is telling these stories and taking everybody on a trip. And I think the more we get into telling that side of the business, the more money everybody can make. Because I'm into exposing the business, and when I say exposing the business, so more and more people see it, meaning exposing the business, what it's all about. And I think the more and more people see it, every time someone comes in here and they watch training or they see our production stuff, they're like, I had no idea all this went into wrestling. I appreciate it so much more. No one ever came and goes, man, this ruined pro wrestling for me. Now I'm never going to watch it again. I thought you guys were really beating each other up. That's not happening. So like, I think it's time for like those who think they know what's best for business, maybe step aside and let people know that like, this is best for business, exposing it, letting everybody know what goes into it, talking about cool stuff like storylines, like tweeting, about stuff that like people can relate to, like the struggle of the business and all that stuff. So I think that's about it. So that's fuck off, right?